Hi, I'm Wendy from the Mountain Farmhouse, and welcome to my garden in the month of July. What I hope to show you today is kind of a realistic picture of what gardening can be on the day-to-day basis. A lot of times you'll see more glamorous looking, perfect, beautiful gardens, and it can be a little bit discouraging and daunting when you look at it that way and you think, oh, how am I going to do all this? Well, it is a lot of work, and you'll see my garden has suffered from a little bit of neglect because I was away for a while, but it is not insurmountable, and perhaps you can join me on my journey as I get things spruced up. Well, I'm standing in our rhubarb bed with Ollie today. He wouldn't let me do this by myself without making noise, so he's joining us for the video. But I didn't get a chance to harvest the rhubarb as I would have liked earlier in the season when I do my preservation and I give extra rhubarb away to other people. So I'm going to salvage what I can of it, and then the rest of it, unfortunately, will have to go to the compost this year. This is called a white forsythia. I'll put the botanical name up on the screen for you. It's not really a member of the forsythia family, but I wanted this here. I thought the placement of it would be beautiful with the other things that I have in this bed. This is mostly just a cut-it flower garden. However, I was told it was supposed to be deer and critter resistant, but as you can see, it is not. They have bitten this down. This was about up to here, and they've bitten this down to, well, you can see. So, my advice would be, if you're going to plant a plant like this, that you're better off putting it behind a fence. I also have peonies in each corner here, and they are supposed to be deer resistant and critter resistant as well. And in some cases where I have them placed in my gardens, they actually are. But in this one, for some reason, something is eating them. So there you have it. This is the top of an Egyptian walking onion. And I really love these. I put these in a couple of years ago. And what happens is as they bloom and they form even more flowers, eventually these stems flop over and they plant a new onion. So they're perennial, and I love that because I don't have to keep worrying about planting them every year. And the actual onion itself it looks sort of like a large shallot, and the flavor is very, very good in cooking. So if you've never tried an Egyptian walking onion, I recommend that you try it. So things have happened since my last video in June. This is the vegetable garden, and everything sort of exploded. We've had a good amount of rain, but we've also had a lot of good sunshine. And here we have the kale, which is lovely, and these are the broccoli plants. I let these poppies seed themselves from last year, and I think they just add some beauty to the garden. What's climbing up this windmill type trellis is peas. All right, here we are in the herb garden, which is close to the door that goes into my kitchen. So I like it that way. It's very convenient. This is an Echinacea plant, and initially in the season it was getting eaten, but I did use kind of a spray on it. Don't worry, organic, no chemicals, but it smelled, and I imagine it must have tasted terrible to the deer and to the other wildlife that like to munch on these things. They ate part of this, and they ate part of this one too. So I have two types of Echinacea. One is a purple and one is white. This is bee balm, and it seems to be on its last legs, but it did have a pretty red flower. This is dill, and I have lots of it in this garden, and I'm planning to harvest some of it. The best time to harvest dill, if you're going to use it fresh, is right as the flowers are opening. So we are at the peak time right now. Now you can clip and use it as you go, or you can clip a bunch of it and dry it, and then you can use it all year round. I'm looking forward to using it in pickles because I'm growing some cucumbers too. Now this is a butterfly bush back here, which isn't an herb, but it attracts pollinators, and we really want that when we're growing anything, of course. And this that's fallen over is French tarragon, and I do like to harvest that and dry it as well. I have lots of parsley here, and this is a sedum, which also the animals got to some of it, but it's in bloom. It's starting to bud out now to bloom soon. Now, come along. Look at this dill. It's as tall as I am. This is lavender in here, and I'm so excited that it came back so beautifully this year. I love lavender. Behind all of these herbs is peonies, and they finished blooming, so they're not looking so pretty at the moment, but they did look spectacular in June if you go to my June garden video, which I will link in the description below. This is one oregano plant. We have basil. This is another enormous oregano. This has been here for probably 15 years or so. I've had this plant. And I have more parsley down here, and more basil, rosemary, sage, chives, and this is another rosemary plant. And that's our herb garden.